Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our EDSC 590 Special Education Research class for summer 2018. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the basics of the course, what you can find if you explore the course, and some key elements you're going to want to focus in on. Now, I do have 3 sections of this course this summer. So 2 sections are considered campus and one's considered cohort. So there's just a very, very teeny difference in the cohort section, which has to do with registration and payment policy information. So I'll highlight that when we get to it, and just take note of it if you are in the cohort section. Okay, so what you're seeing here is our homepage, okay, the EDSC 590 homepage. Announcements will show up here, and that's the main thing this page will be good for, okay. There'll be some needs attention here if there's an assignment coming up. But the main thing that's important is you will see the announcements here. In terms of tools, I'm just going to go through the tabs on the left-hand side here. Tools is a great area because, well, I go here to make announcements. But if you need to meet with me digitally, I will often suggest we go to Blackboard Collaborate. And so if you click on Blackboard Collaborate, you'll come to this page. If I've scheduled a meeting time with you, I'll have used this, schedule session button on my screen to schedule a session, and you'll see a link here for your scheduled sessions. These, if you click on this, will be ones that you or I have recorded. But for a scheduled session, if you click on that tab, you'll see a link down here for a session where we can meet, and you click on it and enter it. That seems really easy. But I have found that myself and students need about 15 minutes or so to download the latest version of Java. No matter if you've done an online course this semester before, I even have to update my Java every time I start a new semester and I'm going to be doing Collaborate sessions. So just keep that in mind. If we have a time to meet, give yourself about 15 extra minutes the first time. Okay, going back to tools. Things that you can click on here. My grades is helpful because I will post your points in Blackboard. One thing I always tell students about points in Blackboard is this course is based out of 150. Now, towards the end of the semester, a lot of people will be like, oh, I have an A because I have 130 out of 142. But remember, Blackboard only gives you points typically when you've submitted something or I've put an actual value in there, even if I put an actual 0. So sometimes you'll be missing assignments, and that's why it's not out of the full total 150 points. So that becomes really important at the end of the semester when you have 130 out of 142 points, because there's really 8 points there for whatever reason you haven't submitted for. So that would be something to figure out at that point. You can email me if you don't know where you haven't submitted things. Okay, other things here is if you would like to send email, you can send it to classmates either individually or in a group by clicking on that link. And those are the main things unless you want to go to the discussion board. The discussion board, there's also links on the left-hand side, so it's not essential you use the discussion board from this page, but a lot of links here, so important to know about. With your research groups in this class, because in summer I always do research groups, you can use this group tab. I can set you up with a group, or a lot of people like using Google Docs outside of Blackboard. So if you want me to set you up with a group, I'm happy to do that in Blackboard, and that's where you would click to go in your group. This tab next, Meet the Instructor, just has a little information about me. This is my phone number and my email, and this is my office. Especially this summer, I will not be there very much because they are doing work on the building, that Finley building, and they're turning off the air conditioning. So if we need to meet, we might need to meet in the library or in our sister building, the Krug building, because that building that I usually am in does not have any AC right now. The next thing you'll see here is a little introductory video about myself, and it's very little, it's just over a minute. And in Learning Module 2, you will take a short quiz. In that quiz will be just a few questions on myself from the video, but most importantly, there'll be questions from exploring this whole Blackboard site for our course. So basically what I go over today, as well as just kind of checking it out yourself. So it's really important you check out the course besides just watching this video. You can click on this because sometimes people do, and it just, again, goes to more specific information, and then another picture of me and my family so you can see what they look like. On the next tab, syllabus and expectations, this is usually what people are most interested in. If you click on this tab, course expectations, it will give you a document, it's a Word document, that goes over basically what you can expect in this course. I won't pull it up, but I will give you an overview. The main thing people are surprised about in this course is it is an online course, but it does still have the same work requirements. A face-to-face class, you meet for 3 hours. So for every 3 credits you have, you meet for 3 hours in person. For each of those 3 credit hours, you can expect 3 hours of work outside of class. So if you do the math there, that's 9 hours a week that you should be dedicating to this class. That kind of surprises people because people say, I really did spend 9 hours on your class every week. So just always tell people, keep up with things and expect that it's going to have as much, if not a little bit more, if you have a learning curve with the technology, has as much, if not more work than a typical face-to-face class. But very doable, I always tell people, especially in summer, we work in groups, so it's very doable. Next, we have the syllabus. You can have it in 2 versions. If you click here is the Microsoft Word version. If you click here, this one, I'm going to click on it, and actually before I do that, I'm going to take it into the student view. And if you click on this version, it is embedded within the Blackboard course. So you have each part of the syllabus here in tabbable pieces on the side. So I'm just going to work through the course. This first part, the most important thing is to make sure you have the correct textbook. I recommend also that you have the APA manual. That's really important, especially when we write that, we're putting together a final research paper in this course. So that's really important for that. Sometimes people ask me, can I have the previous version of the text? It really works best, especially in this class, and it's in the summer, you don't have a lot of time, to have the most recent version, because then you don't have to be looking and searching through the book for the right place for the different readings, because they are slightly different pages and there's a little bit of difference in the chapters in this most recent version. If you go to learning outcomes, these are what I expect you to get from the course by taking it. I won't read all of these, but basically you'll be familiar with educational research design, both quantitative and qualitative. So there's a lot of different types of quantitative design, and I always think of quantitative as when you use numbers and data, numerical data in your research. Qualitative data is more narrative and experience oriented. So we'll learn about both. And sometimes you do have mixed methods where you use both. So that is the crux of our class, is learning about these different research methods. The next piece is the technology piece. Now this is the piece I always tell people I can give you, and these are some guidelines here for the software and hardware that you need. But if you have specific questions, this would be something you'd contact IT services about, because while I have some knowledge of what will work well, because I've taught this course a number of times, they are the best people, IT services, to help you problem solve. They help me problem solve when I have problems. Nature of course delivery just goes over how the course, is delivered. Some basic things here. This course is asynchronous, which means we will never have any required at the same time meetings as a class. I will offer throughout the semester some opportunities if you want to ask me questions without appointments. I will offer times where I'm in Blackboard Collaborate and I can answer those questions. But those sessions are not required. Things to know is because it is a summer semester, this course during the year, usually at 1 learning module a week. During the summer, it's kind of like this course is on steroids. We have at least 1 learning module, oftentimes 2 during a week. When we have really heavy learning modules that have a lot of work and a lot of content, you'll notice we'll then only have 1 a week. But there's several times where you will see a learning module on assigned. Like this week, when the course opened, there was a learning module, and then we'll have another one on Thursday because we're at the very beginning of the course. Things are not too dense yet. And you'll see if you look through the syllabus, it'll tell you when we'll have 2 a week and when we'll have 1. And that's really important to pay attention to because when there's 2 modules a week, you'll have content due by the end of the day on Wednesday and then again on Sunday night. Of course, with any time I teach this course, I do give 24-hour grace period. So if you're on Wednesday night and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't finish this, you have till Thursday night. You don't have to email and there's no penalty. But after Thursday night, if there's a problem and you think, oh my gosh, life is crazy, something unexpected happened, that's the time to email me because after that, assignments would be considered late. Same thing for Sunday night. If something's due Sunday night and you can't get in until Monday night, that's fine because you have that 24-hour grace period. But after that grace period, if you think you're going to need to go beyond that, you need to contact me to let me know exactly what's going on. Okay, the next thing and people are most interested in this is the schedule. And notice Monday, May 22nd, nothing was due because the course just opened, but May 24th. So I actually put it as the grace day because I'm not, if you have it in a Wednesday night, perfect, but you do have till Thursday. Same thing with assignments due on Monday. We don't have anything due Monday, May 28th because it's Memorial Day. But if you jump ahead to June 11th, you'll see things due as Monday. That's incorporating the grace day, okay? How it's set up is you'll have the date, what learning module is going on for that week, and then the assignment for that week is always due on the following either Thursday, because again, we have 2 learning modules off in a week, or sometimes it's due, we'll jump down a little further here, we have a bunch of Mondays because these are tougher weeks, or the following Monday. So depending on the structure of the week, whether you have 2 learning modules or 1, assignments will be due with the grace period either on Thursday or on Monday. And that syllabus schedule takes us all the way to the end of the course on Monday, July 31st. Okay, so then we're going to go into the type of assessments we have in this class. A lot of the points, 90 of the 150, are our bi-weekly learning module points. So this 90 total will be earned in shorter increments of 5 to 10. Each week you'll have some kind of assignment to post, some kind of mini quiz to do. And with the mini quizzes, let me mention that the mini quizzes are 0 points, but if you keep up with them at 3 points in the semester, I do give out extra credit for everybody who's up to date with their quizzes. So while you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll do these quizzes, they aren't worth anything, they do help me know how much you're understanding, and that helps me know if I need to do more office hours, more online sessions where you can ask questions, or modify content. So it helps me, and also helps you know how much you're retaining. But also, you can earn some extra credit by keeping up with them. So while they don't have any points themselves, keep that in mind. A really important part of the class is the CITI training, which is where you learn about working with human subjects. Anytime you're a researcher, you cannot work out in the field without being trained to work with human subjects. This training is not through Blackboard. If you click on this link, it takes you to a third-party site. All of Mason uses this site. You have to set up a login. That's kind of a complicated process. So I'll show you where it is. But in Learning Module 1, I have the directions on how to do that. I even have pictures of what you'll see when you log in to set up that your account to earn that certificate. Once you earn that certificate, you'll upload it to Blackboard. This is an assignment which it takes about 2 to 3 hours to do to get that certificate. And once you get that certificate, you do need to copy and paste it up into Blackboard. So make sure you download it as a PDF is what I usually suggest. Copying and pasting it as a Word document can be a little bit trickier. So downloading it as a PDF and then uploading it into Blackboard is probably the easiest thing to do. The last thing here, and we'll go into much more depth in the second video, is we have 2 major assignments. The Research Application Mini Project, which is a PowerPoint assignment where you put together a research proposal. And then we have a literature review paper due at the very end of the semester. Now these 2 projects, and people are like, are they the same thing? They are linked, but they are different. And I'll go into depth about how they're similar and how they're connected but how they're not the same thing in our next video.